Hey dudes, I'm Hilah and welcome to Hilah Cooking on a special adventure today. We're up here at the original Louie Mueller BBQ in Taylor, Texas. It is 5:30 a.m. We've been up since 4. The guys that work here have been up even longer than that. So we're gonna go inside, we're gonna see what they do, and we're gonna watch them smoke some brisket, rub some brisket, make some sausage. I don't know what they have in store, so let's go inside and say hi. Here I am with Wayne Miller, who is the third generation owner of the Louie Mueller BBQ restaurant.
Well, we've been around since 1949. Our beginnings are somewhat humble. We started in an alleyway behind my grandfather's grocery store. He had a meat market, and back in the 40s, refrigeration wasn't as ubiquitous as it is today. So they had to find other ways of preserving and storing meat. One of the ways to do that was to smoke it and cure it. My grandfather found that there was a demand for prepared meats at lunchtime. So he put a pit together and kind of found a place in the alleyway that he started experimenting with some different cuts from the meat market and really kind of developed his barbecue business from that humble beginning. Dad took over from Grandpa in '74. I started here cleaning bathrooms, sweeping floors, cleaning tables, washing dishes, taking out trash. I had probably about 11 years experience here before I left to go to school, to go to college. I took a 25-year sabbatical and have come back in the last few years when my father was ready to retire. So I divested myself of my company and came home. But what I've really come to find over the last few years is that even though I'm saving some of my history, everybody who comes through these doors and has come through these doors over the past 63 years has left a piece of themselves here. And they all have as fond of memories of this place as I do. Our holy trinity is really comprised of beef ribs, short beef ribs, beef brisket, and all beef sausage. That's the foundation from which I think Texas barbecue is really known for, specifically Central Texas barbecue. You know, before the big Austin push for barbecue in the last 2 or 3 years, most all of the heralded barbecue spots in Central Texas were outside of Austin. And so you found them in Luling and Llano and Lockhart and Taylor, these small little places, and they all did it in a very similar fashion. Very simple rubs, little to no sauce, there's no mopping really. It's beef driven and a lot of salt and pepper, smoke and thyme.
Well, I'm gonna help you out with some brisket and some sausage today, so let's go do that.
This is what's called the flat. This is the lean, the dense lean.
Where you can really see the grain going through it.
And when you look at the grain from profile, you can see there's no marbling really that goes on. So this is the thicker, more like steak consistency lean in. This is the marble section, which is also called the point for the reason that it comes sort of to a point. For us, it sort of looks like a foot.
Yep, like a Bigfoot.
Yep, so we'll call this the toe and the heel. And the first thing we need to do is trim them out. We have a lot of excess fat that's on the brisket that we really need to remove from the system because it overloads the system with excess grease. So we'll trim off our top layer. There's a heel underneath the bottom that we'll also remove. And once we have those portions trimmed out, some of that will go into our sausage mix. And then we'll add our rub mix to it. And we'll rub it down tremendously thick. And then it's good to go. The hardest thing we do, the most artisan part of what we do is to learn to be a human thermostat. Just like that.
Okay, see you in 18 hours, little brisket.
I grew up in Mississippi, in rural Mississippi, and from there I moved to Chicago and went to culinary school. I did my time in Chicago working in hotels and fine dining restaurants, and from there I moved to Nashville where I took a sous chef position. After spending about 3 years there, I moved to Austin. In moving to Austin, tried to enter the barbecue world and got lucky and ended up at Louie Mueller BBQ. Most culinary programs are based on a French system. I think with barbecue you see something this is American history, it's United States history, it's especially in Central Texas you see, I mean I consider Louie and Bobby Miller to be Central Texas barbecue's version of Escoffier and, you know, and all those guys. It's been around for generations and just set forth a specific type of cuisine that's different from anywhere else in this country and really anywhere else in the world.
You seem to really enjoy this.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
You know, they say there's 3 things that you don't talk about in mixed company in Texas. It's guaranteed to get you into a fight. 1 is religion, 2 is politics, and 3 is barbecue. Like Hilah, if you feel this one right here, you can start to see how this one is starting to give out a bit.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel a bit more pillowy.
Yeah, pillowy is a good word for it.
Yeah. This one's well on its way.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you know, we'll pull a brisket out to carve and everybody will be standing around. And when it comes out of the paper, when it comes out of the wrapping, and it just hits the table, it just sort of jiggles in a certain way. And everybody just kind of goes, oh. And the first instinct of everybody is, oh, I want to touch it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, you know, it's just one of those things. And everybody just is like, oh. And as soon as you feel it, people's eyes roll back. You know, it's just like, I know what that's going to be like. That's going to be awesome.